Hey guys, I've now watched Superman not once, not twice, but 3 times at the movie theater. Twice on IMAX, once on a regular screen, and I'm ready to talk about this. Are you ready? Let's dive in.
Ready?
Let's do it, Cronkite.
Okay, so first, I need to tell you guys, I absolutely have loved every Superman iteration that has come on screen. I'm a huge Superman fan. Love the character. Love the characters, the supporting characters around him. Everything to do with Superman, I am a big fan. I'm a DC comic fan, but I'm also a Marvel fan. I like it all, but Superman holds a special place in my heart. I did love Zack Snyder's versions of Superman. I love Christopher Reeve's Superman. I love Brandon Routh's Superman. I love George Reeves. I love the animated version. I love just about every iteration of Superman that has come. I'm a Superman fan. So, what did I think of this version? Well, that's what we're here to talk about today. Went into the movie on opening night, well, Thursday night. I didn't get to go to the fan screening for Amazon, but I did go to the opening night, the Thursday night showing. Made the trip out to an IMAX screen for this. I wanted to see this on the biggest screen possible. Then again, I went the next time with my 4-year-old son, brought him to see it. He had a blast. I love the AMC stuff they had. There was some really cool ones in some of the other theaters as well. Saw it at AMC twice. And then this last showing was earlier tonight, and it was on a regular screen at my more local theater. And same great experience at the theaters. I had the privilege of getting to be in a couple of really nice theaters for these screenings. Now, the movie itself, I wasn't sure. I had been hearing a lot of positivity about this coming from different places and people I know, but I had also talked to a few people that didn't like this as much, and admittedly they have preconceived notions of what they think Superman should be, and I understand that completely. Going into this movie, what I wanted to come from this movie was my favorite comics come to life. My favorite versions of Superman come to screen, and I'll be honest, some of my favorite versions of Superman are the animated Superman, and that's the '90s show that's going into Justice League Unlimited, and even some of the movies that have come out animation. I love Superman, Batman, Public Enemy, for instance, based on one of my favorite graphic novels, comic book sets that has come out. I love Public Enemies. So I like that Superman that comes and gives hope. And my favorite version of Superman can get hurt. He gets beat up a lot. If you ever watch the animated show, that version of Superman gets knocked down a lot. But the thing about Superman is he always gets back up. And I'm going to tell you, we got that with this movie. When he's on screen, you want to be that guy, if you know what I'm trying to say. And I think this movie did that really well. And I talked about the supporting cast a little bit. We'll get more into that in just a minute. But right now I want to focus on Superman himself, because I've heard some discourse about him. Oh, he got beat up too easy. Superman's not supposed to get angry. Well, I'm going to tell you something.
Hey, buddy, eyes up here.
This movie portrays Superman as one of us, as human, as somebody that wants to be like us, that has grown up in this world with Ma and Pa Kent, who I gotta say, I love Ma and Pa Kent in this one. But this is somebody that grew up with morals, grew up wanting to do the right thing. He believed from, and you'll see when you watch the movie, a certain message that he got. And I'll try not to spoil things here. That he was sent here to do good, so it's in his being. It's everything he wants to do is to do the right thing for the people of Earth, and he succeeds in that. And I appreciate that James Gunn went this route with Superman. I have no problem with Snyder's version with Henry Cavill as Superman, a little bit more dark, a little bit more brooding. But with that said, this is a Superman we need today. We're living in a time where we need hope more than anything. I like that other directors and other versions of Superman have explored other things that Superman might have to go through, like the weight of the world on his shoulders, and the heaviness that brings. That's great. But I have to disagree with those that say that this Superman is getting angry at the drop of a hat. I think what he's doing is showing human emotion, as far as he, in his mind, he thinks he's doing the right thing, and all these things, stopping a war conflict, and he don't always feel appreciated for wanting to do the right thing. The interview that you saw in the trailers for this movie between him and Lois, she's coming at him from a journalist perspective. You know, she's asking all the questions that are going to get under his skin, and it does get under his skin a little bit, not because he's getting angry at her or angry that she's asking those questions, but because if there would be any doubt in anyone's mind that he would not do the right thing or the good thing, because in his mind, all he wants to do is stop people from getting hurt. That's a special thing. That is a hero. That is what we want to look up to. That's what we want our kids to want to look up to. And I just think I'm glad my son is seeing this version of Superman for his first experience in a Superman movie. He's only 4. There's a lot of things in this movie that went completely over his head, and that's okay. The takeaways from this movie that he had, and when you ask him what his favorite part of this movie was, he says, "I loved when Superman saved people." That's what we need. That's what we need in this movie. That's what we need from our hero. That's what we need in the world. It's for our kids to look at someone and say, that guy saves people. That guy cares about people. What better lesson can we teach our kids that our heroes are those that want to help people? So I'll leave that at that as far as the character of Superman. Maybe it seems one note to you. That's okay. The villain might be the same way, because this Lex, this is your mustache twirling Lex, and that works great for this movie. Coming into this, my favorite version of Lex has been the Smallville Michael Rosenbaum version, because we get to see that transformation from where he wanted to do the right thing, but sometimes he just had his own interests in front of others. But eventually he just went full heel, right? He was against Clark. He was against Superman. And that's the progression we got with that version of the character. So that's why I like that so much, because we got to see that arc. This one, we're going straight in. This is a man who hates Superman. He's doing everything he can and twisting narratives to make it to where he can fight and take down Superman because he hates him that much. That's okay. Nicholas Hoult sells that. He does a fantastic job as Lex Luthor in that role. But if you're going to say Superman's one note, you got to say Lex is one note. And neither of those are bad things. This is great for the story we're telling here. Now, the side characters. I got to get into this because there's so many people I've heard talk about that this movie was crowded. There were too many characters, not enough time for each one to really expand or have more than one little moment each. And that's true. I would have loved for this movie to have been about a half hour longer. I mean, this movie went at a breakneck pace, right? You started out with big action scene leading into another action scene, and there was very small parts that you could look at this and say this was a pause, right? There wasn't a whole lot of it. But with that said, I don't mind that this movie decided to cut a couple characters short on their arcs, because yes, it would have been nice to see that expanded on, but I also know this is the start, this is the kickoff of a new DC universe. And so we're going to get to see those characters expand and grow as we watch other movies and other shows in this universe. So I'm okay with Hawk Girl not getting as much screen time as I'd like. I'm okay with the Daily Planet folks not getting as much screen time as I like and not having big moments. And I wish they were there, but I understand you're trying to set up a world. This isn't just about this one movie. This is about establishing a universe where we believe these characters are there. And honestly, they do a good job with not making this an origin story. I hear all the time, like, I'm sick of superhero origin stories. And then we get into this, and then I hear people talk about, well, it would have been nice to have gotten an origin. we got to make up our minds, guys. And that's okay. You can feel however you want to feel about this. I have no qualms against you for that. But for me, I'm just happy to have these characters in a movie and have them together and the chemistry be there. And it was. Lois and Clark's chemistry was there. The Daily Planet, I felt like that was a family, right? That group of people, I love seeing them together. Even though we didn't get a lot of time with them, I love seeing them together. The Justice Gang, Guy Gardner, Nathan Fillion did fantastic with that. One of the standouts for me, I think Mr. Terrific. He might have been my favorite character in this entire movie outside of Soups. I think he did a great job with that role, and I'm just happy to see where those characters go from here, because I think the Justice Gang arc of this really set up this team superhero idea better than some previous iterations of superhero movies have done.
Are you being serious right now?
Yeah.
I like that they're already an established group a little bit. They're not the Boy Scouts like Superman is, right? These guys, they've got some rough areas. They got to work around some pointy edges, right? So it's really cool to see how they work together. The back and forth, the banter between them, I really love every bit of that. So I'm excited to see where that goes. I know we're going to see some of these characters coming up in Peacemaker Season 2, so I'm excited to see that as well. Can't wait to find out where these characters go. Let's talk a minute just about Ultraman and the Engineer. Ultraman did have a little bit of a reveal and a turn later in the movie. I'm not going to reveal what that is right here. I kind of saw that coming. I think most of you probably will. There's some things that happen earlier on in the movie, and you're like, okay, so I figure this is probably what's going on. Ultraman was fine. The fights were good with him, between him and Soups. I think that was really well done, and how that finished off, I can see where that could be going, and I'm excited to see how that plays out. The Engineer, I felt like was going to be a bigger character in this, and she really just felt like a bodyguard or just a grunt, you know, and she had some cool powers. I like some of the use of her powers in this. She seemed to really like one particular thing a lot, but that's okay with her power set. And then, like, if you don't know, I've got a Fortnite channel as well, and so I saw that we got the skins for Mr. Terrific and the Engineer right before the movie came out, right the night before. And I thought, oh, Engineer must have a big role in this because she's got her own Fortnite skin out of this. And then I watched the movie and I'm like, they could have went a lot of different directions on other people they could have put in this game, because she was one of my biggest disappointments in the movie. And maybe it's because of that. Maybe I expected more. Maybe because of who her character is and where she could potentially be going, I thought that she would have a bigger role here. But again, maybe this is a way to set her up, to get her started, and then we bring her into something a little bit later, and that's how we pick that up. And we can say that with a lot of these characters, and that's okay too. So with me having watched this 3 times, I got to tell you, I didn't get bored the second or third viewing. I didn't like it any less the second or third viewing. I actually think I enjoyed myself more each time I watched this movie, because I was catching more Easter eggs. I was understanding the tone and the direction that they're trying to go with this, what James Gunn had in his mind going with this. The first time watching it, it kind of throws you off guard because, like I said, you're in an established world. You've got 300 years of metahumans on Earth already. You've got a team already put together. You've got Superman been on this Earth and revealed for the last few years, right? So you're kind of just thrown in and expected to be just, okay, get here. This is where you're at coming in. I want you to just be here as soon as you start this movie. And that's a little bit of a tall task, especially if you come into this not knowing to expect that. So I will say, with that in mind, the second viewing, it made it better. The third viewing, I was able to really just watch and just enjoy what I was seeing. And I thoroughly enjoyed the third viewing, even though that one wasn't on the IMAX screen. IMAX is fantastic, by the way. You want to watch this on the biggest screen possible. But even though it wasn't on the IMAX screen that third time, I think I enjoyed it the most that time, just because I was just sitting and enjoying. I wasn't watching to nitpick. I wasn't watching to look for things, right? And to try to understand what's happening. I knew what was going on, and I enjoyed it. Should a movie make you have to watch it 2 or 3 times for that to be your experience? Maybe not. And I'm not saying this movie doesn't have flaws, because it absolutely does. There are some transitions that seem kind of odd. There are some character choices that seem a little odd, like some of your smart characters should be a little smarter than what they are in this, right? But it also didn't take away from the fun that I was having with the movie. So even though some of these flaws were there, I was able to overlook that because I was having so much fun with what was happening on screen. This truly was my Justice League Unlimited coming to a big screen, and that was fantastic for me, right? Dare I say terrific. So a lot of fun. I didn't mention Anthony Carrigan as Metamorpho. That is a character, my first watch, that was a character I didn't care for. I like some of the stuff he did, but I wasn't really on board with what he was doing, especially at the beginning, and some of his idea changes fairly quickly. And I thought I don't really like that. But then the more I thought about it, and after watching it more times, I want to say Anthony Carrigan's role as Metamorpho, Element Man, he actually did a really good job for what was asked of him in this. And I think for what little screen time he had, I think there was some emotional moments that we might not have got from other parts of the movie that was included in that. So maybe there was a bigger reason for him and his character than what maybe I initially thought with my first viewing. And then I can't. I got two more things I've got to talk about before I give you my score for this movie. First, Paul Kent and his speech with Clark. There is a moment, and you see it in the trailers, where he's sitting and he's talking to Clark about something that's going on in the movie, and he's just real with him. And I tell you, I've cried all three times during this movie during this scene. It is for a movie that does the James Gunn thing. You know, they'll bring you into an emotional arc and then give you a joke. This part did not. When you watch it, you'll understand some of the best lines. The best emotional moment for sure is in this part of the movie, and I really hope you enjoyed that as much as me, because I think it really gave the movie heart, and it really excites me that that emotion was put into that. So love that scene. All right, and then finally, last thing I'm going to talk about, because my voice is going out. Crypto.
Crypto! What the hey, dude?
Saw Crypto in the trailers. Worked for some people, didn't work for others. Crypto in the movie, if you've ever owned a dog, if you've ever been around a dog very much, I don't know how you could not like Crypto in this movie, because he is every dog I've ever been around. Okay, dogs get excited. Dogs do things that aggravate the far out of you, and then they do the sweetest things that make you just absolutely love them. And I'm a dog person. I don't currently have one because I've got young children, and I just didn't want animals in the house for that. But I love dogs, and this is I don't know what else to say other than this was one of the best parts of the movie. Crypto, he has a great moment toward the end of the movie that just makes you laugh, makes you smile, and makes you kind of go like that. I just give you the facial expression because I don't know how to explain it. But I love Crypto in this. I think they used Crypto perfectly. This is something that could have gone really bad, right? A full CG dog in a movie like this, it could have taken a wrong turn. But I think James Gunn, being a dog lover himself, using a dog that he kind of based on his own dog and his own dog's personality, I think it just made for this to be a better movie because he understood the assignment with that. Honestly, he understood the assignment with this movie, in my opinion. But I think that just really worked. All the characters, all the side characters, supporting characters, a couple of cameos. I'm glad there are 2 post-credit scenes. If you didn't know that, go ahead and stick around for them. They're pretty fun. And that's really all I want to talk about with this today. I could talk about this in a more spoilery way later, but right now, I kind of want to just leave it at that. You've heard my thoughts. It's a pretty decently long video here, and I'm out of voice. So where would I rank this movie? I guess on a star scale, I'm going to say this is a 4.5 out of 5 stars. This is a near perfect movie for me because it's got a few of those technical flaws in it, a little bit of rush story beats, didn't get the full character arcs that we really would have wanted. I wanted to add about 30 minutes to this movie, slow down the pacing just a little bit. That makes it not a perfect 5, right? But this might be my favorite I think it is my favorite DC movie that's ever been made. It's right up there in top 3 of superhero movies I've ever watched. For me, after 3 viewings, I feel like I can safely say that. I enjoyed it that much. Don't listen to some of the negative discourse. I don't even know if half those people even actually watched this movie, and the ones that have, maybe they went into it with preconceived notions, or maybe they really just didn't enjoy it, and that's okay if they didn't. You may not enjoy this either, but go into this with an open mind. Keep in mind where we're at in this world, that this is an established DC universe, and just try to have fun with it. And I think if you do that, if you're a fan of other James Gunn movies, if you like good, hopeful heroes that just put a smile on your face, this movie will probably be for you. I know a lot of kids that are loving this. There's definitely some adult themes that I hope go over their head, because I hate to traumatize a young child, but I know my kiddo had a blast with it. He went in there with his action figure. He went in there with his cape on, and he just had fun. I'm going to put a picture of me and him up here before we went to the movies. He was excited, and I'm going to tell you, he enjoyed it also. So go with your family. Great family movie. Go on a date night. Go with your friends. This is a fun one to go to, and I hope you enjoyed as much as I did. If you don't, that's great. Let me know in the comments why you didn't. Like I said, 4.5 out of 5 is my rating for it. Love to know what yours is, and if you had the same experience that I did. All right, that's it for this video. I appreciate you guys checking this out, watching my review, and I will catch you guys next time.